Hello, everyone. I am Matt Williamson. How's everyone doing this fine day? I hope as well as I am. I am happy as could be. It is Senior Bowl week. It's a blast for me, even though I'm home. I did not make the trip. Need to start getting back down there probably next year. But either way, there's a lot of very good coverage. There's tons of clips you can find all over the internet. There's a lot of good draft nicks down there to learn from, et cetera, et cetera. And that's what I wanted to touch on today. Just some names to know down there. And maybe how they affect the Steelers, of course. The quarterback group is really good. Penix is going to be there from Washington. You may have watched him in the playoffs. Lefty. I kind of compared him to a Phillip Rivers. Great arm. This could be a really good spot for him to shine. But Bo Nix might be even more interesting from Oregon. And he transferred from Auburn, but he's kind of reinvented himself in Oregon. He's had 3 different systems he's worked in, 2 in Oregon, 1 in Auburn, and really struggled early in his career with Auburn, but had very little protection, very little around him. But I think Nix is highly efficient. I think he's got a chance to be in the mix. I'm not suggesting the Steelers should take a quarterback in round 1, but if they were, I think it would be Penix or Nix right around 20. See how that goes. Another guy to take it out, Spencer Rattler's down there. He was once really considered, a superstar recruit type guy. But he had a pretty decent year. Joe Milton from Tennessee has immense physical abilities. Some have even said maybe he should be a tight end, but he's got a rocket for a right arm. So it's a really good group of quarterbacks down in Mobile this week. The running back group, I don't think is going to influence the Steelers all that much. If anything, they'll use a 7th round pick or, a free agent type guy. But there is a little guy from New Hampshire, Dylan Labe. He's 5'9", 210 pounds. Really good in the receiving game, bowling ball type. It'd be pretty interesting. Running backs, to be honest with you, don't get to show much in Mobile at the Senior Bowl. They can't really break tackles. You do some protection stuff, but all in all, it's tough to really highlight yourself in Mobile as the running back position. So there's a really good group of receivers in this draft as a whole that I'd love to see the Steelers take advantage of. And a lot of them are in Mobile as we speak. And one you probably haven't heard of is Western Kentucky's Malachi Corley. So obviously guys like from Western Kentucky and just talked about from, New Hampshire, this is a big deal for them. They obviously get the lineup against Georgia and Texas and Bama and show that they belong with those guys. That's a big thing with Senior Bowl, But Corley is sort of the Deebo Samuel type, former running back, really good after the catch, physical as could be, but he needs to show he can line up against press coverage down there and run out routes all day and, wide receiver routes. He's not gimmicky, but he just needs to be a separator with the finer points of wide receiver play. But boy, is he exciting athletically and with the ball in his hands. It's a really good group of receivers, folks, and I would be remiss if I didn't say how much I think the Steelers should take advantage of that. With the NFL playoffs here and the NBA season in full swing, BetOnline has you covered with all the up-the-second odds, news, and scores. With additional odds, lines, trends, and info on both desktop and mobile, you can access the world's best wagering information anytime. Head there today and get in the action and see all the updated odds. Remember to use promo code BLEAV, B-L-E-A-V, all one word, all caps, to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. So sort of like the running back position, I don't think tight end's going to really be in play for the Steelers, which is good because it's not a really good crop, to be honest with you. They're not going to be involved with Brock Bowers, but there are some depth dudes, and a guy maybe you guys have watched, a lot of Penn State fans probably listening, is Theo Johnson from Penn State. Big-bodied guy, 6'6", 255. And we'll get all the official measurements from Senior Bowl here probably very soon, to be honest with you. But, I mean, he very sure-handed, good athlete, a lot to work with Johnson. So I think he's someone to pay attention to, and maybe you already know him, but chances are the Steelers aren't going to be super involved at that position. Now, this dude could be the Steelers' first-round pick. Tyler Guyton, tackle, Oklahoma. Rare athlete. Getting Lane Johnson comparisons. Tight end turn tackle, great movement, Oklahoma. Still could add a little more bulk, but people that watch him describe him as he floats, that he moves so smoothly that he floats. That's just a good way to kind of picture him. I mean, he's not clunky at all. He's really, really smooth. He's powerful. He can recover when he's beaten. Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma is very enticing. And there's a lot of good offensive linemen, particularly tackles and centers, which is exactly what you want to be hearing as a Steeler fan in Mobile as we speak. And a guy I'm interested in as well, listed almost everywhere as a guard, is Christian Haynes from Connecticut. But I think he's going to play some center in Mobile, but he's been really, really good against not great competition. So that'll be one of those guys, can he handle the center position? Now, the best center in this draft, and it looks like a good center draft, is down there now. He's actually not a senior. It's Jackson Powers Johnson. Of course, they call him JPJ, which would fit right here with Steelers JPJ. The more I pay attention to this guy, there's no chance he's going to be there for the Steelers second round. If you want him, you're going to have to take him at 20 or a trade down. He hasn't played a ton, but boy, is he good. And he looks like a first-round center to me. Oregon, I'm not sure if I mentioned that. I mean, he's powerful. He's quick. He's nasty. He's smart. I think he's going to be on full display and really, really shine here and in Mobile and end up being probably a first-round pick. It's hard to project a center to definitely go in round one. Now, Laiatu Latu is an edge player from UCLA. He is going to go in round one unless medicals hold him back. Really good edge player. Not really in the mix with Steelers. Probably first defensive player, or in potential first defensive player off the board. This is a guy that interests me because he's kind of the Tuitt body type, maybe Aaron Smith, 3-4 D end. Is Braden Fiske from Florida State, 6'5-ish, 300 pounds, long, explosive. Can still hold the point, but really quick off the ball. We finished the season really strong at Florida State. He's someone I'm pretty excited about. There are a bunch of linebackers, none of whom really stands out to me as a star on the group. There is a guy from North Carolina who has some major medical stuff, but he's the most talented of the group. But maybe someone will emerge that the Steelers might be interested in round 5, sign someone and then draft a round 5, round 6 type linebacker. See who stands out. Speaking of stand out, these last two I want to talk about are really intriguing and could absolutely fit in with the Steelers. And Toledo corner Quinyon Mitchell. Steelers are all over MAC players. They scout that area really well. They got great connections. This guy, per Pro Football Focus, he's forced more incompletions than any corner in the nation over the last 2 years and is in the 99th percentile in forced incompletion rate. Just dominating at his level. All the traits you look for a top 20 player. Maybe even second or third corner off this draft class. He's fast, he's big, he's physical, attacks the ball really well. But there's one big thing to worry about, or is incomplete. In that scheme, they hardly ever play press man coverage. So this is the beauty of the Senior Bowl. He's going to be down there pressing some of the best receivers in this draft class and see if he can do it. Or is there something there to work with? He's done very, very little of it, but doesn't mean he can't. But he has all the traits to do it, but just needs to kind of prove it, or show that there's something there to work with. So that's really interesting to me. And maybe the most interesting player in this entire draft is a safety I'd love the Steelers to get a hold of from Utah, Sione Vaikai. And he's a very good college running back. People think he could be a star slot receiver, but he's a big in the box safety with immense production, really good athleticism, just doesn't have a huge body of work because he's played all these different positions. So it sounds like he'll only be playing defense in Mobile. Great. I mean, he probably needs to, stick at one spot and go with it. But boy, he's really intriguing. Another intriguing guy, kind of a bonus prize here, is a defensive tackle from BYU, Kingsley Sumamata. And he's cousins with Penei Sewell, and you can see why. I mean, he's like a freak list athlete, huge tackle, kind of a Jordan Mailata type from the Eagles. That's just really raw. But O-line coaches are going to see this dude and fall in love. So a lot of really good offensive linemen in this class down there. A couple of them aren't participating, like Graham Barton from Duke. Super smart tackle that's going to bump inside to guard or center, but he has a shoulder injury, so he's not going to be out there. But it's a really good group of offensive linemen. Love to see the Steelers take advantage of that. A really good group of wide receivers if you're paying attention down there. And some secondary guys I'm interested in for sure. Also a great group of quarterbacks. Who knows how the Steelers will see that or, address that need or see it as a need, to be honest with you. But I'll be here talking it all. Go check out my article. As mentioned, it is what can the Steelers learn from the teams that made it to the championship rounds offensively, some trends you see with those guys that maybe the Steelers could kind of make their own. Maybe we'll talk about that tomorrow, go over it a little bit more with you. So over and out. Take care. Hope all is well. And I was going to say, who else? We'll get to some more prospects as they pop up. But this show was presented to you by Bet Online. Thanks so much. Over and out.